So I participated in my first For Honor tournament this last weekend, and it was the For Glory tournament, the 1v1. Um, and I thought it might be fun to go over my performance and maybe try to learn something from it and reevaluate. Maybe you guys can learn something from it too. I did my best to chop down all the in between bits, make this video as short as possible, but it is still a bit long, so I understand if you don't want to watch the whole thing. But getting right into it, my very first duel was against Name Raider, who was playing a Raider, to my surprise. And he was quite good. I mean, he's using the main, really the attack that people have found that makes Raider even, like, still not viable, but kind of closer to viable than he usually is. And that's the side swing into the top light that stuns. It's kind of an easy mix up, and that's kind of his main game plan. As you can see, he just keeps nailing me with that. I keep trying to parry the side attack, and then his whole plan is to either do that or commit to a side attack, and that's really messing me up. I just was not expecting this type of game plan from a Raider, especially. This is my very first duel. I'm very nervous at this point. I get very nervous and like sweaty when I play like serious stuff like this. I guess you could call it serious. So I was very nervous, and I kind of had to calm my nerves a little bit. And I'm still a little freaking out right now. But I'm doing my best. I'm kind of trying to take a deep breath. But making mistakes. This is my very first actual duel in a tournament, and it kind of shows. You'll see me doing some stupid stuff, and there's a stupid thing. I went for the zone attack, which on a Warden, if you block the zone attack, then your opponent gets a free guard break, which in that case, since I was on 1 bar of health, that means that I lost that round, because he can just guard break me and do a heavy. So on to round 3, I'm down 0-2, and things aren't looking good, but in between the rounds, I kind of took a deep breath. I was like, this guy's really only doing like 2 attacks. So I can be patient, and I can totally beat this guy. I'd gotten the timing down of that attack, which allowed me to parry it and get some guard breaks in, which is going to be most of my damage. I'm going to try to rely on parries, because he's only really doing the 2 attacks. So maybe try to get some shoulder bashes in every once in a while. He caught me in that dodge there as a guard break. There I catch him into my shoulder bash mix up. Parry. I think that's round 3 in my favor. So I've taken a deep breath. I've kind of looked at how this fight is going and then how I can adapt to play it. And things are looking a little bit better for me. I'm a little bit more in control of my emotions, I guess you could say. I'm taking things with a little bit more weight. I'm thinking about things and being a little bit more patient. And again, he's really only doing like the 2 attacks, so it's pretty easy to punish if you know what he's doing. I guess he hits me there. He's gotten me on that mix-up again. The best thing to do with that is actually to not really parry it, even though I keep trying to go for parries. You can just block either of those attacks on reaction, so it's probably better to do that, but I was feeling a little confident, I guess, and kept trying to go for the parries. If I lose here, then Name Raider takes the first match. This is a single elimination, but best of 3 matches, so you have to win two games to move on. There I tie it up 2-2. Let's see if I can take this first match. So beginning this last round of the first match, trying to keep the pressure on a bit. I don't want him to be dictating the fight, but even still, I really only have to worry about 2 attacks, and he got me there really good. I don't have to be taking all this damage, and that's the thing that I'm kind of doing poorly here. I'm trying to parry everything he's doing, and he could have guard broken me there, but instead I parry him and get a heavy in on him. So health pool is mostly the same here, but I've been very risky when I didn't need to be in this fight. I probably should have kept just regularly blocking instead of parrying, but it worked out for me. I take him out, and the first match of the set goes to me. So hopefully I can keep this up, but I'm feeling pretty confident going into the second match. I really only have to worry about the 2 attacks. I mean, that's the thing. I'm going to keep the game plan the same. That's all I really have to worry about here. And that's not to say anything negative about Name Raider as a player. It's more to do with how kind of bad the Raider is as a hero at the moment. He doesn't have really any viable tool set. So I'm just kind of catching him off guard now. Nice crushing counter there. I've kind of gotten the timing down of the only 2 attacks that he's been doing for the most part, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable here. There's a nice parry, and I easily take the first round of the second match. Things are looking good. I feel like I've gotten my opponent's playstyle pretty much worked out, and I know how to beat him. I'm playing a little bit more cautious, but I'm doing a bit better with the parry timings and stuff, because I'm still going strong on trying to parry him like I do there. And you'll find that's kind of a general thing I like to do, more so in general. Unless someone's punishing me a lot for parrying, then I'm going to try to switch it up, but otherwise parrying is usually a good way to go about it if you have pretty decent reaction timing. So I take the second round as well, and now I'm getting a little in my own head, thinking I'm controlling this a bit more than I actually am, and he's doing a good job of playing reactively, and he's catching me. He just caught me 3rd times. My health is now below half, and he just keeps hitting me, and wow, I really didn't do anything right that round. I was just got in my own head a little bit again there. But it's okay. I have 2 rounds left to throw, but let's try to finish this right here. All I need is 1 round, and I move on to the next opponent. It's definitely going to be a much more uphill battle for him, and I know how to beat this guy. I mean, that's the thing. I kind of have this already in the bag, as long as I stick to my game plan, the thing that's been making me win the last couple fights. Don't need to be taking unnecessary risks, so if I'm not comfortable with parrying an attack, I can just block it. I've kind of realized that at this point. But I'm still, if I think he's going to be committing to an attack, then I'll try to parry it. There's also, again, no risk in me missing my my shoulder charge, because the Raider's dodge is so terrible that it still kind of catches him, even though it's at the tail end of it. There, I get a nice parry. You know, again, I want to be controlling the tempo here. Doing my best to finish this fight off like I should be. He is hitting me with those, it's kind of a funny attack to get hit by, just over and over. But it's catching me off guard a lot of the time, so it's working for him. He's kind of pulled back, evened out the health pool for us when I had a pretty major lead just a few seconds ago. Trying to whittle down his health to that last bar. There I'd succeed in that, but we traded some damage, and I'm now below a 1 bar. Not too big of a deal for me. I like that trade. I'm just trying to bait out a parry at the moment. Let's see if I can finish this thing up. You can see me not trying to commit to an attack, and there he does, and I parry it, and I take it. A little defensive there, but you know, that's what wins the matches here. So I move on for my first opponent. I hugely respect Name Raider for bringing in a Raider to a tournament like this, so that's pretty awesome. I can't wait till he gets buffed. He really needs one, and he will be pretty potent with the Raider once the Raider gets a good move set. So now I'm moving on to a Peacekeeper as my next opponent in the next round of the tournament. It might look like it right here, but I don't actually have trouble with a lot of Peacekeepers. You'll notice with me a lot of times when I'm first fighting an opponent, I kind of get hit a lot in the beginning, and that's definitely a bad thing, but I'm also kind of trying to figure out what they're like and what their playstyle is, and then I kind of adapt, and you'll see that I'm kind of figuring him out still. With Peacekeepers, A lot of them play very, very similarly, where they just kind of spam the light attacks. Maybe they'll mix in a heavy, but it's usually a combination of light attacks and then a lot of the zone attacks, which are really, really hard to react to. So moving on to the second round, I'm kind of just playing the same. I mean, the first round was a little hairy in the beginning, but once I kind of figured out Kinetic's play style, it kind of came together. He's not doing a whole lot of things that are surprising me when playing against a Peacekeeper, and basically those things are, like I said before, lots of light attacks, jumping in to throw out a bunch of light attacks from random directions, maybe throw in a zone attack to try to mix it up. And all I really have to do is keep my guard on the right. I mean, you'll see I have my guard primarily on my right side just to watch out for the zone. And other than that, I can pretty much react to most other Peacekeeper attacks with some confidence. Kinetic is also not doing a great job of managing his stamina, which is a problem a lot of Peacekeepers have. And that's definitely something I can be punishing him more for. The Warden has a really good exhaustion punish. So another thing I'm trying to do is I like parrying Peacekeepers, especially Peacekeepers. They're my favorite thing to parry because they don't have a whole lot of health. So if you can get one heavy on them, that will do you a lot of good. Here I just I think I parried him twice, or he just didn't manage his stamina well, which is one of the things I kind of realized. So I punished him pretty easily for that. He's trying to mix up. He's trying to take my my guard away from my right side, as you can see there. Again, I'm just trying to parry him. Peacekeeper, once you get their attack timings down, they're really not that tough to parry. So once I've kind of got that, then it's more or less, I feel pretty good about the match. The thing that he can be doing about that is, of course, feinting, which I very rarely see Peacekeepers do. Most Peacekeepers are not great at feinting because they don't really have to use it, I guess. They kind of learn how to not use it because all they need is just light attack spam and zone spam. But when you feint, that totally throws me off my game. I should mention I spent about an hour playing with Kihu maybe 2 days before this tournament, and that is a lot of practice against a really, really good Peacekeeper. So that definitely came in handy with this fight. It kind of tuned my reaction time for the Peacekeeper, all that kind of stuff. I think I mentioned this before, but this is not a conventional fight in the tournament, and you'll see it. You'll see why very, very soon. We'll get into that after this round, but as I'm trying to finish up this this matchup against this opponent, I'm just doing more of the same. I mean, he's not really feinting. He's just kind of light attacking from random directions. There, I take him. I'm kind of catching him on dodges too. If he's dodging, then I will grab him and get a free heavy in. So here's kind of where things get a little unconventional, I guess you could say, and mostly because he, no reason to not believe him, but he gets an admin to host a match between us, which is fine. I mean, if you're having connection problems, then I totally recommend it. I mean, I'm not going to hold it against you. My connection was totally fine. I made sure of that. My NAT is always green. So I cut out a lot of the in-between part. It took probably a half an hour to get one of the admins or the mods to host a match for us. That's really my only complaint, just how long it took, of us just kind of sitting there staring at each other, or, not actually playing or practicing. So I've cut out all of that section, and now we're playing. There's a mod is on his team spectating, making sure I'm not up to any kind of shenanigans with teleporting or lagging, which is I'm definitely not. Again, there's no reason to not believe Kinetic when he says that. I just as easily would believe that Ubisoft's connection problems. I mean, they have plenty of problems, so it's not unreasonable to assume that I could have been teleporting on his screen or doing weird things with the connection of this game in this state. So things look to be better on his end, but I'm still kind of continuing with the same game plan, relying on parries a lot. He's not really feinting. There he go, tries for a feint, but didn't sell it very well. And that's pretty much all I feel like I really needed to beat him. He's giving me a lot of like guard break opportunities with either dashing away and I'll catch him in a guard break, or I'll parry him and then catch him in a guard break. And one heavy on a Peacekeeper does a lot of damage, so it's if I can get a couple of those in one match and one fight, then I'd say that puts the fight pretty heavily in my favor. So I only need one round left to take this matchup against this opponent. So I'm going for that, and again, he's not managing his stamina very well, so I'm going to try to expose him, I guess, or punish him for that. And again, I mean, you're just seeing it constantly. The name of my plan is just parry, because he's not doing anything too tricky. And another thing that I will go into, a reason why we're playing a third match against this guy, is because he did ask to redo the first match, which the mod didn't make me do. I just did it because why not? I didn't want anyone to say that I beat this guy because of lag or whatever. I was feeling confident, of course. I'd beaten him 2 times prior without any lag concerns on my end, so why can't I beat him another time? And that way, hopefully it'll alleviate some of his problems, make him a little bit happier. It's never a bad thing. So this is the third match. Even though I've technically already won, I decided to throw away the first match, just to be nice, I guess. We're playing a game, it's whatever. Don't take it too seriously. And that's kind of one of the things I learned here, is I play better when I'm more calm. So the first couple matches against that Raider, I mean, I was seriously like sweating. My controller was all gross and nasty. My hands get really gross, by the way. And after that second round, I kind of just took a deep breath, and that's kind of when things started to look a lot better for me. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of playing to have fun. This is a game. Not that big of a deal to lose, and not that big of a deal to grant someone another match if they're having connection problems. So that's what I did. I only need one match to seal this thing now. I'm still trying to finish this, but I should be able to. I mean, he's not really changing up a lot of his gameplay to counter what I'm doing. Something that Kihu did, who, like I said, I played a couple days prior to this, and he was really giving me fits, is he would cancel his attacks, feint them, and then instantly go into a guard break. And that oftentimes would really mess me up, because I'd try to parry his attack, and his guard break would catch me in the startup of my heavy. And that was something that Kihu was really doing to punish me for going for all those parries. Another thing he would do is sometimes I'll just throw out a random light attack. I'll see if I can find something like that here. And you can punish me for that as a Peacekeeper. If you can instantly guard break me right after one whiffed light attack, and it'll give you a guaranteed guard break. So here I go. I beat him round 3. Might have been a little mad there, but it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So going on to the third matchup is against who I would consider to be a pretty top player. I was looking at his past history in tournaments, and he's pretty consistently in the top performers. He's ranking very highly. And going into this matchup, I was a little afraid. I mean, Conqueror and Warlord is no surprise, probably the characters that I have the most trouble with fighting. And I totally, you'll see this in this upcoming matchup. I have never come up against a Conqueror this good, with just this good of a reaction time at parrying me. I mean, Conqueror really doesn't have much of a reason to parry me. There is a reason that I'll get into in a little bit, why he's, I think, parrying me. But if you just look at it, I mean, so many of the attacks I'm throwing out, just trying to open him up, are just getting parried, and it's frustrating the crap out of me. I can't do anything to open this guy up. There he kind of runs out of stamina, and at this time I'm back into panic mode when I'm fighting him. I'm back into, I have no idea how to deal with this guy. His shield bash is just totally wrecking me. He gets a guaranteed hit, and I don't know how to beat him. So now I'm thinking, okay, round 2, calm down. If I can nail some shoulder bashes, maybe I can get some hits in. Nope, get parried from a top light. Good reaction time, by the way, Barris. All I need is some shoulder bashes. Maybe I can get something in. I'm panicking. I'm not pressing the right buttons here. Just getting nailed by his shield bash, and it feels like everything's just going wrong for me. Basically, Barris's only offense is the shield bash into a swing. Sometimes he's not even swinging. I don't know if he's just being kind of a cocky or not, or if he just thinks he's out of range. But he's not really throwing out any attacks just randomly. There we go. There's my second round down. Things are not looking great for me. I've never come up against this kind of playstyle with a Conqueror. I've come up against playstyles with Conquerors that are very defensive and turtley like this, but not someone to this extent who's just parrying everything I do. And you'll see I'm landing some of these shoulder bashes into him, but with the Conqueror's all block, he can do it faster than I can get my guaranteed lights in. And there's me trying. That's usually a guaranteed top light right there that he just blocked. On any other character, if I can fully charge up a shoulder bash, if that hits, then I get a guaranteed top light if I hit it, and get the right timing when hitting it. There, he was able to block it. I could have sworn that Ubisoft patched this out with their last patch, but reading back on the patch notes, they didn't. So I was trying to wonder. I was like, man, I thought they patched this out. I thought if I hit a shoulder bash, I thought I could hit him. And I just didn't know at all how to fight him. After the match, we did talk. Kind of spoiler, he won. Look at how I'm playing. There's no way I can do anything against him. I can't reliably get damage on him. He's just kind of toying with me. There's not a whole lot that I'm doing. I talked to Barris, like I was saying before, a little bit after the match, and he kind of told me what I could have done to fight against him. And if you were very perceptive, you might have been able to catch on to it, but my brain was just scrambled eggs at this point, and I couldn't think at all to try to adapt to the situation. And even with the knowledge of there is a way to fight this playstyle, it's still, I'd say, very heavily weighted against me. But to get into briefly the style that I should have been going for is I should be wanting to land these shoulder bashes, and I should be wanting to still attack and make him block. Because if you look, every time I do that and he blocks, look how much stamina damage it does to him. Not health damage, but stamina damage. And the secret is to try to wear down his stamina. Barris said this was pretty much a 100% stamina battle between a Warden and a Conqueror. And as you can see, I'm managing my stamina totally terribly. That's why he was parrying me, because that's easy stamina damage against me, who he's probably assuming actually knows how to fight against someone like him. I'd say that's still weighted against me because my shoulder bash still doesn't guarantee any damage at all. His does. And the only thing I can really do is try to exhaust him. No other attack is getting through. with any kind of consistency. My stamina is just getting wrecked. He's totally in my head. Things are not looking great. If you want to see a good example of someone that does actually do this playstyle and fights it in a very impressive way, was Skies in the same tournament. I think he was against Power Up. You can probably still find the video on his Twitch channel, but Power Up was using a very similar playstyle that Barris was, and he used it to pretty good effect, and he actually came out on top, which was really, really impressive. But overall, I guess the recording's over. I'll probably have to find something to fill in this footage. But thank you for watching. I might be doing this for every tournament that I play in. We'll see. But if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys later.